Clinton, and they're kind of entertained by Bernie and his enthusiasm and his rabid young fans, but enough already, right?
Yeah, Dr. Jane Sanders is a far better woman than I am. I'm just going to flat out say it. As someone who's been part of the Democratic Party for my entire life, I was part of the DNC, I've been an activist within the party for years, and I'm not as progressive, believe it or not, as my millennials. I will say straight up that the DNC has been holding hands with Hillary Clinton, and you'd be blind to not see that. From the fact that they have stacked primaries at the beginning, they have closed primaries, that Debbie Wasserman Schultz has allowed things like lobbyists to come back into the Democratic National Committee, that the superdelegates were selected and endorsed Hillary in August of last year, 500 of those superdelegates. The list goes on and on. It's basically, let's be honest here. The Democratic Party has been talking about how they need to raise all this money to compete against Republicans because Republicans have all this money, but we're not winning. And they select their candidates by how much money they can raise, and Hillary Clinton can raise a whole lot of money. But who does that benefit? That doesn't benefit the people because we're not winning. That benefits the consulting class. That benefits the people who are tied into the establishment.
Well, she is leading in the polls. Now, I know your candidate, Bernie Sanders, leads even bigger in the polls when pitted against Republicans. But their argument is that if this drags out to the convention, they're the ones who could have a contested affair. Absolutely. Maybe not enough to topple Hillary Clinton, but to make it a nasty affair when they must be licking their chops, seeing the division among Republicans and all these power brokers who aren't going to go to the convention. Speaker Ryan just the latest to say he can't support Trump. So they're getting impatient. Come on, Bernie, sit down, right?
Well, sure, but Bernie is fueled not by Bernie Sanders and cutting deals with the DNC. He's fueled by a movement. 80% of progressives and Democrats and progressive-leaning independents under the age of 50 support Bernie Sanders. That number should shock the DNC. As a Bernie Sanders supporter, as a Democrat, I can assure you that I will vote Democratic, but I can't ensure that a bunch of independents who have no brand loyalty will. And if you want to break down the numbers, they're worried about Hillary winning with superdelegates. Well, 58% of superdelegates are DNC members, and of those DNC members, the majority are men and white. Hillary Clinton doesn't want to win based on one superdelegate equaling 10,000 votes. What they don't want to talk about is how they've lost 69 House seats, 13 Senate seats, 910 state legislative seats, 11 governorships since 2008. Yet they're raising more money than ever. Where is that money going? It's a centralized party. It's not focused on the grassroots. They're not picking good leaders anymore, and they want to talk about how we're not able to compromise. Well, maybe they should start looking for candidates who have real leadership rather than great salesmen.
You seem upset. All right, Nomi, we'll see what happens. Always good catching up with you.
Fired up.
All right, fired up, ready to go. All right, did any of you see